episode 219. My name is Hagen. That's Brett. And as always, brought to you guys by Chinook Cedar. Use the code The Skipper's View for a 10% discount out there. And also, go check out Dean's website, Stat Soldier. You've seen it a little bit on Twitter. I bet if you've seen it, but it's a cool website. You can go do comparison stuff, use a little bunch of analytics stuff like that. So for sure, go check it out. And we got to dive right into this. I mean, I just told you right before we started this that there's been so many good games this week, and there's been great storylines in baseball this week. We got to start it off with the playoff bracket because, I mean, obviously it's the talk of the town right now. There's so many good races going on. The Yankees and the Blue Jays are tied right now for the division with each 4 to play. The Tigers and the Guardians, there's one game separates them right now. The Reds are only a half game back in the Mets right now in the NL wild card there. We have so many good races going on right now, Brett.
Yeah. It is locked and loaded. If you're watching along, you'd see my screen. Right now we look like Yankees versus Boston, which scares the hell out of me, but it's also electric. Who doesn't want to see Yankees Boston in a guaranteed playoff series? I don't think you could ask for anything better in October. Then we go down to the southern part of the American League on this bracket. I say the southern, the bottom left corner, Cleveland, Detroit. This series right now, like the fact that entire division right now, what's going on there with the catastrophic fall of Detroit, and Cleveland has somehow ascended now into first place by one game in the division is insane. With virtually 3 games left or 4 games left to play. You hope Detroit gets in. Everyone wants to see Tarek Skubal. Especially they were 20 games up on 500 or whatever at one point. They may have been 30 games up at one point on 500. Dude, the American League is sick. And then let's move over to the National League. Chicago versus San Diego. I feel like you got an electric lineup on both sides. And then you got very interesting pitchers between Cease, King, Cade Horton, Matthew Boyd. I think we could have, that series can go either way, whoever bats are popping then. And then Hagen, it's your Mets. They're right now scheduled to play the Dodgers in the wild card. Dude, what series do you want to talk about first?
I mean, we're already on the NL here. I mean, I think just talking about what's that last wild card spot's going to face the Dodgers most likely. And then after that, you face the Phillies. And then you're facing the best remaining team in the National League. I mean, this National League, and honestly for the American League too, for how well some of those teams have been playing recently, like it's going to be a bloodbath. Like I feel like there's a few series every year you kind of look at that are kind of like, that's not going to be a great series. This team's just way better than the others. It seems like every series right now in the playoffs is going to be amazing. I mean, I think probably the easiest series out of all the playoffs might be the Dodgers against that last NL wildcard team because the Mets, the Reds, and Diamondbacks seem like they don't really want it lately the way they've been playing. I know they really do want it, but all those teams, it just seems like when they have to win, they don't win.
Yeah, and the Dodgers, they have a lot of issues going on with the bullpen right now. They're not the same Dodgers they've been the last few years. And in fact, as of right now, they don't even have 90 wins yet. And we're talking about 4 games left in the season. Like, this is not the most, even though the roster coming into the season was probably the most impressive roster we've seen in a long time in baseball, it has not performed like that. And we don't have to dive into whether it's injury, health, just overall. Like, the point is, they're not the Dodgers we expect them to be, but this is the playoffs. They are well managed. They have experience, and you're exactly right. No wild card team wants a part of playing the Dodgers in the first round. So I think we could jump to Chicago, San Diego, and this is the Chicago, San Diego. The reason why I want to bring this one up is because I agree with you. I think the American League is going to be an absolute bloodbath. I think the Chicago, San Diego one is either going to be an electric series or it's going to suck and one team takes it fully. I feel like they're so hot and cold, the Padres and the Cubs, where like if the Padres don't come out and hit, the Cubs are just going to walk away with this, and vice versa. If like I feel like the Chicago bats, depending how Tucker's batting, could come out flat and lay an egg, and San Diego just walks cupcakes them into playing the Brewers in the second round. That's the one I'll call out.
I mean, even the Chicago series, it's like, what PCA going to get? You're going to get the PCA who was he was in the MVP conversation in the first half. You're going to get the PCA who's been the worst hitter in Major League Baseball since the All-Star break. I mean, if he turns it on, that could be an electric series there too. And especially when San Diego's had some injuries too to the bullpen there. You lose Jason Adam, who's a huge part of that. Their bullpen's still amazing there. In Chicago, their bullpen's been a little better. Obviously, you just got a Danny Palencia back last night, which is huge for them. But and I think this speaks for honestly every team in the playoffs this year because there's not that clear. There's not going to be a team that wins 100 games this year. There's not a clear this team's the best team in baseball. This is the team like the Dodgers last year, which you don't want to face them. Every team has their flaws. I mean, every team, the Phillies have their bullpen. The Dodgers have the bullpen. The Padres are just very streaky at times. Sometimes they look at the best teammates, sometimes they look like they don't usually be in the playoffs. The Cubs, their bullpen can get shaky. Their offense will go cold at times. Their starting pitching depth hasn't been great the whole season. But, I mean, there's just so many flaws in all these teams. It makes it very interesting. I mean, even the team right now that you would probably say have the no flaws are Milwaukee and Seattle. But even, too, before Seattle was put on this huge win streak, everyone was thinking they were going to miss the playoffs for a second, because they couldn't win a game for a little bit of time.
Yeah, and the Mariners, obviously, the beginning of the year, they were not as hot as they are now. They obviously made the trade deadline acquisitions. Second half, Julio, as always, coming around. Cal Raleigh's been a freaking iron horse for them all year, and we'll talk about him more in a little bit. But the Blue Jays, they look really good. Scherzer had one of his worst starts of the season, his last start, and he's starter number 3 or 4 for Toronto. And it's wow, Toronto is a lot better than I thought they were going to be this year. And they held on to the 1 seed for now, because the Yankees, they can creep up on them. And if we look at right now, the division, the AL East, it's tied. So if the Yankees are able to win out their next series, and Hagen, I hate to toot my own horn, I bring this up a bunch about these schedules that the Yankees got to play the White Sox, which they've taken 2 of 3 already. They're playing again tonight. And then the Yankees are going to close out the year with the Baltimore Orioles versus the Blue Jays. If we look at them, and give me a second, I'm pulling up their schedule. But the Yankees have now been able to pull it. This is going to come down absolutely to the last series of the year. And the Blue Jays, they're playing Boston right now. They've taken 2 L's in a row. Boston's fighting for a playoff spot. They're going to come out hungry in game 3. And then now Toronto, to close out after Boston, has got to go play the pesky Tampa Bay Rays, who Tampa Bay doesn't care about ruining your season. They don't. I think the American League is so interesting, especially with this Tigers downfall and Cleveland's ascendance. And Cleveland's won 9 of their last 10. It's just wild. It's wild. You gotta love playoff baseball.
I mean, and the cool thing too, just real quick on the Cleveland and Detroit situation, is obviously it would be a historical collapse if the Tigers not only lose the division, but end up missing the playoffs because of it. I know everyone's heard that already. I mean, and I think a lot of people talk about more of the collapse of the Tigers, but it's just the Guardians on what they've been able to do is insane. It almost feels like the Tigers, what they did last year. Because last year, the Tigers were an afterthought, even at the trade deadline, for making the playoffs. And then they went on a crazy run. I believe they're the best team in baseball in the second half there, stuck into the playoffs, pretty much doing what Cleveland's doing. And the cool thing about the Guardians is they're 86 and 72 right now, a game up on Detroit in the division. They have a -2 run differential. It's incredible. It's incredible. They've done all of this, and they've passed Detroit, who has a +66 run differential.
Absolutely. Good call out. Let's jump off the playoffs because we got a lot of games that are yet to be played still. We got 4 games from all these teams over the next 4, 5, 6 days. Between now and Sunday. Sorry, I don't know why I said 6 days. So we got 4 days of baseball, 4 games each. A lot's going to happen with the seeding. But right now, if it ended today, that's what it looks like. Let's talk about Shohei Ohtani for the Dodgers because, Hagen, his last 4 starts, 19 2/3 innings, 27 strikeouts. He has a sub .5 ERA and a sub .75 WHIP. So he pitched into the 6th inning for the first time since 2023 on Tuesday this week. Is Ohtani now the technical ace, like in the Dodgers rotation? Like,
it's hard because you have Yamamoto, who's been dealing lately too, been one of the best pitchers in baseball the last however long. I mean, even since he came into the league. I mean, that's the thing about the Dodgers is like their bullpen's been so bad this year, but their starters are disgusting. Like I don't know who you're gonna throw out there. Like Shohei, he goes one. And then where's Blake Snell and Heather Glasnow fall into this too? Emmett Sheehan, who's been a dog this year as well, hasn't got much love. Anywhere you go there, honestly, just however you set it up, it's going to be amazing. And I think it'll be interesting to see too if because of the bullpen's been so shaky. I know Dave Roberts loves his matchups and the Dodgers do that a lot, but would they try a piggyback? I know they did it a little bit last year in LCS, but that was more on punt games. But would they try a piggyback with a very shaky bullpen when you have 5 solid starters you feel confident with in a postseason game, and especially in a series where you're only going to go 4 games, you could really just piggyback one of them at least.
Dude, Yamamoto, 167 and 2/3 innings pitched, 2.58 ERA. Kershaw, 107 and a third innings pitched. And you know he's going to be letting all the gas out of the tank on this one. This is his last go at it. He's a 3.52 ERA. Then you look at Glasnow's my last option with an 87 innings this year and a 3.3. He's behind Sheehan for me. Sheehan's got 72 innings pitched. He's got a .97 whip, a 2.86 ERA. And in those 72 innings, he's got 86 strikeouts. And that doesn't include Snell, who pitched last night, looks very Blake Snellish, 61 and a third innings pitched this year, 2.35 ERA. What are we talking about? And then Ohtani, 47 innings pitched and a sub-3 ERA. This is gross. If the bullpen could figure it out, it's over. It's over for any team.
I mean, I don't even know if they have to like fully figure it out. It just has to be, can you not implode really? Because I know there's been Tanner Scott's the big one that gets talked about a lot. Leads the league in blown saves, and he's been quite honestly horrendous for him. But if you can just get rid of that, because it's not like this team has offensive issues and they have this great starting pitching and you need to hold a tight game. No, the offense go out there and they could bang. I mean, the offense is very good. Obviously, it's not the same if Will Smith's not going to be available in the playoffs, but Mookie Betts has been heating up lately. You still have Shohei Ohtani, who, by the way, today just tied his own record for the Dodgers home run record with 54. You have Freddie Freeman. I mean, this offense is going to be able to go out there. They can change a game in an inning. We saw it last year. We've seen it this year. They can just change a game in 1/2 inning. So you just have to have the bullpen not implode on you.
Yeah. Speaking of Freeman and Ohtani, they are saving me right now in the Skipper's View League Championship right now. I was down like 11-1 on Monday. It was bad.
Really?
Saving me. Yeah. We'll talk about that more as at the end if we have some time. But let's keep moving. Let's talk about our mainstays on the show this year, Cal Raleigh and Aaron Judge. So last night, Judge became the 4th player to hit 50 home runs in 4 seasons. Seattle's Cal Raleigh became the 7th player ever to hit 60 in a season. Big Dumper now hit 59 and 60 last night. And on the same night, Seattle clinched its first AL West title since 2001. If you guys don't remember Hagen talking about this last episode, if you didn't listen in, this is the first time they've won the division since Hagen's been alive. That is crazy. That's absolutely absurd. So, Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh, he's the first non-Yankee American leaguer to reach 60. He's the first switch hitting catcher to reach 60. And now, according to odds, he's now the AL MVP favorite over Aaron Judge. So he has 3 games as well to beat Aaron Judge's AL record of 62. Hagen. We're going to be talking about this to the last day, depending on who's hot and who's not. I need Cal Raleigh to have a big night. I need him to have multiple big nights for me to win this fantasy championship, so I'm being a little bit biased. Like, Judge already has 3 MVPs. Does Judge deserve the MVP? Yes. Do you think he wins the MVP?
I think it's so hard because I think both people deserve the MVP. I know they don't do co-MVPs, but it's so hard here. I know just Judge has been the better hitter, but it's just like Cal Raleigh is doing historic stuff. I mean, right now he has the third best WAR for a catcher in Major League Baseball history, behind 2012 Buster Posey and 1972 Johnny Bench. We already know the records with the most home runs by a switch hitter, by a catcher, by a Seattle Mariner. It's incredible, and I think that whoever gets the MVP is very deserving of it. And I've been so tied between, I don't know who's going to win it. I was talking to my buddies yesterday. I don't know who's going to win it. I don't know who I would vote for right now. It would be extremely hard to vote on. But I do think that I'm going to stay with Cal Raleigh here. I think Cal Raleigh should get the MVP just because, and I know it's hard either way because of what Judge has been doing, and he's been incredible this year. But I just think Cal Raleigh, I think if you don't reward a season like this from Cal Raleigh, you can't really ever do that again. Obviously, you're getting historical stuff out of Judge. He's going to put up a 10-win season. He's the best player since Barry Bonds, hitter-wise. It's incredible what he's doing, but I just think you have to give it to Cal Raleigh here. And I know it's close to go either way, but Cal Raleigh's been incredible. He's done the Seattle Mariners. And yes, he's not alone. I think a lot of people make it that the fact that he's helped them push the Mariners into the playoffs. Yes, he's the best player on that team. And he's made a big part of it, but also Aaron Judge has a chance to win the Yankees the division as well doing that. So you can go either way with this, but I'm going to stick with Cal Raleigh, and I think Cal Raleigh's going to win MVP this year.
And that being said, I'm not trying to be biased, but I just looked at the numbers again. This has to go to Aaron Judge. Like it is honestly – I understand the feel-good story, winning the home run derby, like the video as him as a kid, like I'm going to be the home run derby champ. Like that was awesome. It was all awesome to see that unfold. That being said, Aaron Judge is getting on base almost at a 46% clip this year. Cal Raleigh, he's getting on base almost 10% less. Batting average, 250 to 330. Advantage Judge. OPS 959 to 1136. Advantage Aaron Judge. I will say this. I am shocked Cal Raleigh has 2 more stolen bases than Aaron Judge. That's kind of Bush League on Judge. Like, Judge, you're way quicker than Cal Raleigh. You should have more stolen bases than him. And I get, like, if some homer Yankee fan's going to argue about him missing games, it has nothing to do with him missing games. He's not being as aggressive on the bases as Cal Raleigh is. Bottom line. Dude, Judge is just like, it's so hard not to put him in. And Cal Raleigh has struck out about 25 more times than Judge at this point. I don't know. I don't know. I think Judge should win it, but I think Cal Raleigh's going to win it. I think he's going to have the voters' hearts and get the vote.
It's just hard because you can go either way with it. Like, obviously, when you look at the numbers and you look at it, you're like, it should be Aaron Judge. But then you try to factor in that Cal Raleigh's a catcher, and obviously WAR is going to do that. It doesn't do a phenomenal job of doing that by any means. Doesn't take the full picture and the work he puts in behind the dish there. But it shows how close it really makes it from an overall value standpoint. But either way, you can. I'm not going to be mad with whoever wins this award. And I think the voters love their narratives and stuff like that. Obviously, I don't think voter fatigue's as big in Major League Baseball as it is in the NBA or the NFL. We see it a lot there. But it just – I think everything just seems to be pointing towards Cal Raleigh winning the MVP this year. I mean, even seeing it was an awesome moment seeing it last night when he hit his 60th home run, hearing the MVP chants in Seattle, and then him hitting that home run. It was incredible to watch that.
I will say one last thing, not to dwell on this topic. So we all know that the MVP, most valuable player, across all sports, it's really like we know how the voting goes, right? In basketball, it's really who's the biggest stat stuffer, and you have to be in like 4th place or above. It's not like like you should be in 1st place. Baseball, I'd say, has the least amount to do with team position, like where they rank in the standings. Baseball is totally statistical driven. At least that's the way the voters seem to be voting on a year by year basis. And we can go through football. Like, you're not going to win MVP if you're on a losing team in football. You got to be on a winning team. And then like look at hockey. I don't really know how hockey's voted, but typically it's someone who has like a ridiculous amount of goals and points in the season. It seems to be more stats. That being said, baseball, if for the things that do matter, Aaron Judge is almost a full 2 WAR better than Cal Raleigh in the year, according to I don't know why I'm using ESPN stats right now, but he has a 9.3 WAR compared to Cal Raleigh's 7.2. So it's a 2.1 WAR difference. That being said, the Mariners' rotation is light years better than the Yankees' rotation to keep them in games. And the bullpen, I'm looking right here at covers.com. Seattle's bullpen ERA is a 3.71. That would be good for top 10 in all of baseball. The Yankees, they're more to the middle back end of the pack with their bullpen at a 4.45. Think about how many more games Aaron Judge probably realistically keeps these Yankees in than we realize. And that's where, where that WAR difference is coming off of. And it's like, damn, especially if they win the division, this vote is going to be so hard to vote on.
I mean, yeah, like it's going to be very hard to, especially when Aaron Judge, when he did miss time, the Yankees were just an awful baseball team for whatever that week he was out or so. And even so, I know there's that difference in WAR there for B WAR, that 9.3 to Judge, for Raleigh 7.2. I'm typically I use F WAR more, and that's still obviously he still has by a half WAR, but it's 9.6 to 9.1, so it's not as big as a thing. I know Tom Tango was going to look in that today a little bit on how the discrepancy and why it was so big between that, but it still shows. I think that shows a little bit. It's closer than what the B WAR really shows, but also at the same time, you just look at the numbers. It's just Judge has been the better hitter besides the home runs.
Fair point. Fair point. Let's keep it going. Let's Hagen, are you on mute? I wanted to talk about the injuries if you want to switch over topics.
Yeah, so we got Roki Sasaki. He was activated by the Dodgers last night. He's out for 4 months due to a shoulder impingement. He looked great. The fastball looked really good. Obviously, he was having issues with that before he got hurt, and he wasn't getting any whiffs on it at all, even in the start of his rehab. But the velo was there. The fastball, the whiffs were there. He looked incredible there. That's another weapon the Dodgers will be using out of the bullpen, which is great for them. For the Atlanta Braves, Ozzie Albies, he's going to the IL, which is going to end his season with the left hamate fracture. Sucks to see him end it, especially just right before the season ends. The Mets staying in the NL East. Tyler McGill, who's been on the IL since June due to right elbow inflammation, he's going to end up getting Tommy John surgery, which sucks, especially at this time, that he's going to most likely miss all of next season and then be back in 2027, which at the time, too, will be his last year on his deal before he hits free agency. So he's going to have to rehab, come back, be working back from Tommy John, and still fighting for a contract at the same time, which is going to be tough for him there. Cade Horton, who is the front runner for the Rookie of the Year right now, he was moved from his last start of the season due to back tightness. While he was effective through 3 innings, the Cubs decided to play it safe, the youngster, especially when it's looking like that guy could be your game one starter. You'd rather play it safe there. Obviously, they lost the game there, but it's more important when you already have a playoff spot secured there. And then another thing for the Dodgers is they just placed Kirby Yates on the IL with a hamstring strain, so obviously his season's going to be done. I'm not sure how long he's going to be out for, if that's going to be, I would assume, at least the first round of the playoffs. Maybe he comes back in the second. I'm not sure, but that does suck, especially with a very shaky bullpen, as we've talked about multiple times this episode. And then Pirates, Hunter Barco, he just got promoted. He was the number 6 prospect in the system for Baseball America. That's going to be another fun arm for them. Also, left-handed pitcher for him. Something exciting for Pirates fans the last week of the season. Obviously, we had Skeens just finish his seasons off, but just like we always talk about, Pirates have very exciting arms in there. So hopefully he makes something exciting happen in the next few days. Another elbow surgery. Luis Garcia, he's going to miss all of next season with elbow surgery. I believe it was Tommy John surgery that he underwent, but that does suck, especially a guy who's dealt with injuries here in the past. And a little bit, some not injury related here, but Tampa Bay Rays, the sale that to the Patrick Zalupski group, MLB owners approved that in a vote, and the sale's going to be $1.7 billion. Congratulations to all the Tampa Bay Rays fans out there. I know, running from the OPS, Ethan, he was very excited about this. I know Rays fans, just in general, very excited about it, to get a new owner in there. Hopefully they can raise the payroll a little bit, get the stadium figured out. But I mean, it's a great time to be a Tampa Bay Rays fan with that going on for him there. And then finally, the Netflix on opening day, they're going to stream the Yankees and Giants game, which sounds crazy to me. I know they do the boxing fights and all this, but it's crazy to me that we're going to be watching the Yankees and the Giants opening day on Netflix. I think it's pretty cool, though. Obviously, the ESPN deal is going away, so you have to expect something like this is going to pop up. But I do think it's a little weird, but it's also kind of cool. You can just turn on Netflix and watch a baseball game now.
I agree with you on that. I just like at the same time, I don't know jack. I'll be totally honest about like TV deals, what deals are in place, who's like locked into like a legacy deal or what have you. Why can't the MLB, and I understand if it's simply money, they make more money by outsourcing who gets to, put these games out there. Why can't the MLB, the NBA, just monopolize their TV streaming rights and they just have an app like the MLB app, like the NBA app or Red Zone, and they do all the games, like where fans of their sport can go to one centralized place, pick the game they would like to choose and watch as long as they pay annual or monthly membership, what have you. If you are a true fan of the sport, you're going to either A, pay for that app, or B, go to somewhere where that app is being played. I think it's that simple, and you'd have less fans bitching. It like baseball, I think by doing this, imagine the people who don't have Netflix, which there are now people. Netflix has been doing way more cutting of or allowing of viewing of accounts from a distance. They check to see, is this you? They send you a secondary like code, whatever, and like based off your location where you're signing in from. They're trying to make it harder. They're trying to make more money. Why can't baseball just take care of this and stream all from the same platform? I know, way simpler, more simple said than done, but I don't know. It'd be really cool as a fan to see that happen across all major U.S. sports.
I mean, yeah, it really would be nice to see that, especially when it is frustrating when, as someone myself who owns the MLB app and pays the monthly fee to be able to watch every game, then there's games where it's, Apple TV. I know there's only one game a week, whatever, the Fox games, where it's like, so I'm paying all this money a month and I can't watch this big game, the biggest game of the weekend on a Friday night. I can't watch the Sunday night game, obviously the ESPN one, but it does suck that you're doing that, especially when you already have the MLB app and it's somewhat close, but even the blackouts too. I think that's the big thing is just we got to figure out the blackouts and let people watch the games. I don't want this to turn into the NFL and college football where it's just you have to have all these streaming sites to be able to watch certain games. I think baseball's done a good job in the past, at least making it easier than the other sports. I know it seems that they're going the direction now where they're going to go to more streaming apps and that, but it's normally been a lot easier to turn on a baseball game, a specific one you're trying to watch, than a specific NBA game or NFL game. But now it seems like baseball's going that way a little bit, and it honestly just boils down to money.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about two more topics before we close out here. We're doing a shorter episode today, folks, for those who are still listening.
Yeah, Paul Skeens, his sophomore season's done. I mean, it was incredible what he did last night. He finishes the year with 32 starts, a 1.97 ERA, 216 strikeouts, 0.95 WHIP, and 187.2 innings pitched. He's the first qualified pitcher with an ERA under 2 at 23 years or younger since Dwight Gooden in 1985 in his terrific rookie year. Incredible to watch Paul Skeens. I mean, it's truly special to be able to watch. I mean, last year he had a 1.96 ERA his rookie season, and I believe 23 starts. This year in 32 starts, a 1.97 ERA. This guy's a sub-2 ERA pitcher in like 60 starts, 50 to 60 starts. It's incredible from Paul Skeens. I mean, he's going to run away with the Cy Young. He might win it unanimously, to be honest with you. I don't even know what to say about Paul Skeens anymore.
Yeah, all we could pray is that the baseball gods just give us more players like Paul Skeens. He is like, the reality of what perfection is, obviously, like no one's ever going to have 0 ERA, 0 earned runs, 0, walks. Paul Skeens is like as close to as like picture perfect a pitcher that you could ask for. Doesn't say much, 8 WAR, just generates wins for a losing team, sub 2 ERA. almost 200 innings pitched, north of 200 innings, north of 215 strikeouts. He's the all-in-one type pitcher, and he's just like also like a massive presence, both locker room and for the team. Like imagine like how confident you feel as a batter if you're on the Pirates and like going out that day and be like, oh, we got Skeensy on the mound today. Like I'm gonna get to watch something special. That's how I'd feel. But yeah, I'm very, very, very happy once again that I have his autograph on his first Bowman. That's sick. Probably one of the better ones in my collection. And we'll continue to watch him next year. I do hope that Skeens is a guy who's able to stay with his team. I don't want one of the big teams like the Dodgers, the Yankees to pull him. I want him to be a Pirate. I just want them to build around Paul Skeens because he's that type of player. Let's talk about
and I think
Oh, sorry. You go, Hagen. You go.
I was going to say, I think you want to see guys like Paul Skeens stay with their team, but that's not going to happen because we all know the Pirates aren't going to pay him. And one more quick thing on Paul Skeens, which we were very close to getting, which we haven't gotten. We've got a once-in-MLB history, a pitcher to win the Cy Young with a losing record. From what I was looking into, Eric Gagne is the only one to do it, and he did it as a reliever. So we've never had a starting pitcher win the Cy Young with a losing record. Paul Skeens is finished the year with a 10-10 record.
Damn, we were pretty close though. Pretty close. If he sticks with the Pirates, I'm sure we'll get another opportunity to see him do that. So
he'll have another opportunity next year.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about the last thing, Major League Baseball. They decided to have a massive news alert go out right in the last week of the season. That's that they will be using the ABS, otherwise known as the Automated Ball Strike Challenge System, during the 2026 season for the entirety of the season. Some of the rules: each team will get 2 challenges and can keep them if they're successful. Challenges can only be initiated by a pitcher, catcher, or batter, and the request must come right after the pitch. To signal a challenge, the pitcher, catcher, or batter will tap his hat or helmet to let the umpire know. No help from the dugout or other players on the field is allowed. In each extra inning, a team will be awarded a challenge if it has none remaining entering the inning. So it will be powered by T-Mobile, the 5G network, and they will use cameras set up around the perimeter of the field to track location of each pitch, and a graphic on the scoreboard shows the result of the challenge. So baseball's getting really techie here. As a tech guy who works for a corporate cloud implementation services partner, I'm into this for sure. I don't like that we're just replacing umps. Like that feels weird to me. But something about this, I feel like the players are happier that they're going to get more accurate and case-by-case calls where they understand where the strike zone is going to be on them. So, Hagen, I'll let you take this one because I don't have a strong thought on this one.
I actually do have a very strong thought on this because I've been a big fan of the ABS challenge system. And I think, honestly, we've seen a lot of rule changes to baseball the last few years. Obviously, the pitch clock being the biggest one. The base is getting bigger. These new rule changes in baseball, I would argue this is the best one, best change in the rules we've seen in Major League Baseball in recent history because of a few reasons. We still keep umpires in this game. I am a firm believer that umpires should be a part of Major League Baseball, and we shouldn't have full-on robots behind the ump and there should be some human error in there, because also with this challenge system, you're able to challenge that. But you have to be able to, it's strategic as well, where you can't just challenge every single pitch. You have 2 a game. You obviously can keep it if you get them right, but you got to be smart about them. You got to save them for late in the games. You got to be smart when you're using them. You can't be doing it on a call and then miss it. I mean, because then it screws you over later in the game. So I think this is incredible because it adds just a whole other element to the game on strategy on how you're going to use this. Are you going to let certain hitters have the green light to do it? Are you going to be your 9 hitter? Are you going to have him say, you better be really sure about it, or you can't do that at all? I think it adds a really cool element to the game there. And the speed, it won't ruin the speed at all. I mean, even watching it in spring training this year, I think it took less than 20 seconds to even do that. Even if it's not going to, it's at a couple minutes to the game, honestly. It's a lot faster than you'd expect. But I think this is a great move for Major League Baseball.